Hi, and welcome back to the All Scale Slot Car Den. I'm Dennis, and you'll have to pardon me today. I have a little bit of a cold that I'm trying to get through, but I'm really excited about this new set that just came out from Auto World, and I've been very excited about this because it contains dump trucks, and dump trucks are something we don't get much in the slot car world. Certainly not at any larger scales. And in the HO scale, we haven't had a dump truck for a long time. Now, the only versions I know of going back to the early 80s were these dump trucks from US1, and fantastic dump trucks. And they do a world of things. And I'm going to have a video explaining all that in detail coming up shortly. So you might want to subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications so you don't miss that, because that's going to be a lot of fun. But after the Tyco, there really weren't any, to the best of my knowledge, until Autoworld produced some years ago. And I could tell you this, if you were a child playing with an Autoworld dump truck the last time they released it, when they were new, you are probably a grown adult now with a full-time job, married, two and a half kids, and a mortgage, and yeah, you're on your way through life. That's how long it's been since Autoworld has made a dump truck. And the only two that I know of, there could be more, but there was a black one with red details and a red one with white details. And that's all I know of. If you know of any others that Autoworld made, leave a comment below. Okay, I'd be interested in that, because that's something we just don't see much of. And I'm very, very thrilled that the Autoworld decided to create these dump trucks, because they're very, very nicely done and beautiful trucks. I could not pass these up. Now, this is going to be like a three-in-one video. You're getting a lot for your bang for your buck here, even though it's free, because this is going to include several different things that I'm going to throw into this video. For one, I almost call this Slot Cars What Character Dump Trucks, my ongoing series of the unusual slot cars. And this would definitely have been a feature, but there's so much going on that I didn't want to do that. I want to keep it basic. So even though these guys are here, they're going to get their moment in the sun in another video. But you can call this the lost episode of Slot Cars What Character, if you will. So there's that. And there's also the new AMP chassis that these things are sitting on. And this is the first time AMP chassis have been made available to the public in these slot car sets. And there's also a Blues Brothers set that are coming out with these, and their extraction version of the AMP chassis. The AMP chassis is something brand new from Autoworld. It's called Accelerated Motor Performance, I believe. That's what AMP stands for. And it's supposed to be the way of the future for them. They say that they're going to continue creating their slot car chassis in the same old fashion as they did with the Thunderjet, Extraction, 4Gear, and Super 3. But they will have a version in the AMP for each of those, and they're going to run side by side. I have a feeling in the future, if these sales are anywhere near what the other ones were, they will eventually dump the older chassis. That's just my opinion, because these are, there's fewer parts, and it's much cheaper for them to create at the factories and things. So I have a feeling the way of the future is, if these take off or continue to sell as norm, then they will eventually phase out their other versions of their chassis, and they'll have four different AMP versions. So we'll see how that goes. That's something to keep an eye on. But in my opinion, it's great to have options for slot cars. It's wonderful to have all these options, and the more the merrier, I say, when it comes to this, because it makes things more fascinating when we can break things down and compare and really enjoy the hobby in different ways. So now this is the AMP chassis. Here's the view from the bottom, what it looks like. And here's, let me get a regular Extraction chassis. Okay, this is their regular one that they've been putting out for a long time. And you can see how different it is. This has a can motor as opposed to these have the gears, and these have much longer pickup shoes where it's like a quarter of the size with the newer pickup shoes. And yeah, you could see the Extraction had the 3 gears in them that would wind around, and that's how that would be propelled. And this one just has the can motor that would spin and go through the gears here, and that's how it's different. Let me take this off. Let me put you to the side for a second. Sorry, very professional here. Let's snap this off so we can get a view. All right, here's the view looking down, and you can see the difference. These are both Extraction chassis now. Now there's going to be different ones, but for the Extraction you could see old and new and the difference. And this one, of course, is lighted. That pertains to this particular set. We'll see how, if they all come lighted, but I doubt that. They'll probably just have their special ones like they normally do that are lighted. And that's what we're looking at. Now, let's get this out of here. Now, I was breaking down. Here, let me put this back on. Sorry about that. Now this one, to snap on, you kind of feel like it's very tight getting on there. And I guess it's because it's new. And actually, when I'm putting it on, I just snapped the back axle out. So now I have to put it back in there. Hope I have that the right way. Okay, sorry you couldn't see that. I need to get a stand. I have a stand, but I'm not using it. I was running. Oh yeah, one more thing. Let me show you these up close here. And beautiful detail into these. Nugget mining. Just beautiful details on that. And you can see in the bed, it looks like it's been very, very worn down and dirty. Doing its job, and that's the yellow version, and here's the red. That's the Hard Rock Mine. Very nice, beautiful cars, beautiful. I really love what they've done with those. Now, I have to tell you, okay, I took this. This is how I warm up a new car, how I break in a new slot car whenever I take it out of the package. It's the first time it's ever been run. I'll take it around the track slowly for a few minutes, just nice slow speeds. I'll just cruise around the track. And I did that with the red one, right? And just a nice slow speed, just cruising around. And there we go. Just to break it in. And you can see, it seems a little sluggish. Just wanted to see how these things perform and give it time. I don't want to break in the motor too fast and upset some new parts that have never moved. So I take it around a few laps and just do this, just to warm it up. And one thing I noticed, after a few laps, then I start punching it a little bit. Now I did this with the red truck, now I'm doing it with the yellow. Then I start to punch in it. And when that happens, I notice that if you could see, oh, I just deslotted. If you could see that the light, while it does have the light bulb, it only comes on stronger when you really hit the throttle. Otherwise, it's pretty dim. And it does come on stronger when you hit the throttle. Let's see if we can hold it here. See, the more throttle you give it, the more stronger the light. Now, I was hoping that the AMP chassis would solve that issue to where they would be a consistent light, consistent quality of light. But no such luck. So the faster you go, the more you hit the throttle, the stronger light you're going to have. So if you want to creep around slowly, it's going to be a dim light. So there's that. And it kind of, it's one of those things. You can't have everything, right? But I was just hoping. Another thing. Now, I'm using the yellow truck here, right? When I first opened up the package and took everything for a spin, I took this red truck and I set it down maybe like right here. Went back, pushed down the throttle really easily, and right here, this thing flew off the track. It hit a little joint in the track that was sticking up a little slightly. The slot car flew off the track, and I noticed the pickup shoe right there. One of those tiny little pickup shoes. And I cannot find the spring. There's a little spring under each one of those. I cannot find the spring. After this video, I'm going to search for it and see if I can find the spring. It might be on the floor somewhere. It might be under the track there, but it's not on the truck where it should be. And that's a thing. And I couldn't believe that happened. I drove 2 feet before I had my first issue with this AMP chassis with its new pickup shoes. So buyer beware there. I was very, very, very disappointed with that. And so now automatically, if I don't find that spring, I'm going to have to hunt down replacement springs, and I know I'll probably need some. Now, if you have a slot car track and HO track, you know every now and then one of the joints might get bent out of shape and just stick up just slightly. Some cars are fine. They fly smoothly over it. Other cars, you feel every single one of them, especially like some Thunderjets, you feel them. And you have to make sure your track is very smooth. And the only way to really do that is to test it. And I should really just have a test car that I do. And I've learned now to have a test car to make sure the track is down, all the joints are smooth before I send any new cars out there, because I've never had that happen. I mean, it was literally 2 feet and that spring popped right out of there. The pickup shoes got snagged on that track joint, and that was that. So that's something to really concern anyone who's looking for that. Get some spare parts. You would think research would have been done with this, but it's not a good system. If that shoe comes up just like that, and I put some other cars on the track and they were able to make it over that joint, so it wasn't like it was sticking up like an inch. It was just a bare little amount, but that one snagged it. And so that's just something to be concerned about. And I thought, well, maybe it's this is a Tyco HP2 or Curve Hugger or whichever. That's some kind of mix or something. I thought maybe it's the same kind of pickup shoe, but actually it's about a little bit less than half, a little bit more than half the size of the HP2, and but maybe the springs are the same. So I'm going to test that. If I can't find that spring down there, I'm going to test out the spring, see if I have any extra Curve Hugger springs or any other springs I have to replace that, or I'll probably just wind up buying a part, some springs just to have on hand, especially if that's going to happen, and if the AMP chassis are the way of the future. I think be prepared to store some extra springs, and we'll see how long these pickup shoes last. Being very short like that, they're taking a lot in one little short area. So there's not much you could do to bend them or play with them, because it's just how it is right there. It's just a very short little field right there to pick up the electricity from the track. So with that, I cannot use the red truck in this video. So sad. One other feature, let me get back to the trucks and with their features. They do have this little swinging tailgate back here, this gate, and it kind of locks into place, which is really nice. It snaps into place and it's secure back there as it goes around. Now, as you know, if you have the Tyco US1, we're not going to do this about US1, but they do many more features than these do. But at least it has that, and at least it has that little thing to where you can pretend you're dumping. You can put a load in there and then dump it out. Of course, this does not raise. This is just a solid piece, but you can go like that and have fun that way and whatever. So that is something to consider when you're looking at these. So they don't have the full functions of something that was made about 40 years ago, but that's just part of things, you know. Maybe it's a little expensive to manufacture these days like that. So we get what we get. So that's about all I want to say about this. I'm pretty disappointed. My first experience in 2 feet with the AMP chassis was a -1, and we're going to take it from here. And but I am excited. And if you want to pick up these sets, you can get them. You can get them in parcels, because some manufacturer or some retailers are willing to parcel out their sets. If you ask, they might just oblige, and they'll send you the cars. It's good for them because they make a nice deal on it. They'll send you the cars. For instance, in the set, I saved about $40 if I would have purchased the entire set. Now, you can argue that I should have purchased the whole set, because all those parts together are worth more than the $40 I saved. But at this point, I'm really not interested in doing that. I'm not interested in having more track. More of your basic turns is really what's in there. Maybe 3 15-inch straights, all the regular basic radius, the tightest radius turns, basic guardrails, not any of the fancy ones that AFX has, just your basic bridge supports that you usually get, and the power supply, which I have enough of. And most people who are collecting these have their own setup already. So it's kind of a disservice. I understand you want to get new people into the hobby, so you need to put sets out. But to have cars that are only available in sets is kind of a disservice to regular collectors who want everything that comes out, who enjoy the product and who are loyal to the product. And to have to deal with buying a whole set every time, or doing things like what I did here, it's just not good for the core of your hobby, I believe, you know. Now, you can argue any way you want about this. I did it this way. I just wanted these. I didn't want to have to deal with the rest of the set, the pieces. You could argue that I could sell that. I could sell the rest of those, and I can even parcel them out myself and make some money on those, or have extra spares. But I have enough extra spares. I'm good. I'm not interested in taking the time to sell things. I'd rather have things come in than things go out. If you know what I mean. It's a chore to have to sell things, so I'm just not willing to do that. I'm happy saving a few bucks and moving on to the next adventure. And for me in particular, I was not interested in this set, what it had to offer. The track is brown. If you're interested in that, you can have brown track, and that's great. You can have, you know, Auto World has put out different tracks. There's the blue for the ice truckers, and the Outback set, I think, has brown. And I actually did the same thing with the 2 trucks from the Outback set. I purchased the trucks separately and didn't have to worry about any of that. There's cardboard cutouts I'm just not interested in. So there's things like that. Leave it up to the retailer. They can make some extra money. So you're kind of doing good for the hobby that way. You're helping out the retailers by taking their cars and leaving them some extra to make a little bit of extra money. So any which way you want to look at it is fine. You could do it any way you like, and that's fine. And that's what makes everything fun. And just to see how people approach the hobby, and it's very enjoyable. And so that's it for this. Just enjoy your set. These AMP chassis are going to be available, I believe, in April. They'll be coming out en masse, and in all the different types. The 4 chassis will be an AMP version, and there'll be lots more to come. Auto World is doing great, making great product. other than the little slip up I had here in the first 2 feet. So I had 24 inches of enjoyment before that ran out. But we'll see what happens in the future if they do a redesign. Maybe they put this out, and maybe if enough people are having that issue, they might redesign that, might think again about doing that. But as it stands, we're going to take this around the track a little bit. And you see, I was thinking, now this is a dump truck, so of course it's top heavy. And with it being a top heavy dump truck, you think, okay, well, it's going to cause problems going around the turns. You have to take the turns slower, because in the past, that's what you'd have to do. So I thought maybe the amp chassis would do a better job of sticking down in the turns, especially with those two magnets. So I found out quickly, if you try to do anything more than gingerly manipulate the car around the curve, you're going to have a little wipeout, because it is top heavy and it does behave like you think it would. So that's just something to keep in mind too. You have to, now these would be fine, you take them around, you enjoy them, like newbies and kids enjoy them, or for yourself, just to watch a dump truck going around the track is enjoyable, then this is for you. If you want to have some races, I would say keep it in its class. Every slot car is fantastic as long as it's in its class. Some can race multi-classes, but this in particular, which should stay in its class against other dump trucks, so to speak. And see, that wasn't too much exertion on the throttle, and it tipped. So don't expect the amp chassis, at least for the dump trucks, to withstand too much going around the turns. But like I said, if you have a 4-lane track, if you want to race 4 of these, have at it, and they'll do a spectacular race. You have to be careful going around in the turns, keep the voltage low for young ones and newcomers, and they're going to have a ball with them, because they are fantastic little cars. Not sure yet about the pickup shoe issue and the springs, but we'll see what happens. I'll do some more testing, and I'll get back with you. And thank you for watching. Take care.